On the Swinger.
Hey guys, do us a big favor real quick. Go over to Good Pods, go over to Spotify, go over to Apple Podcasts as well. Rate us over there. Tell us what you think about our podcast. Also, too, I have Troy with me. I have Sam with me. I also have my co-host Alex with me. We're going to be interviewing them for their little independent film, Birdies. We had a chance to review it, and what a pleasure it was to be able to review that film. So, with further ado, let's get on with the show. And welcome, guys. It's good to actually have you guys on the show. I do want to say thank you to Sam for reaching out to me.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
All I got is Listerine, so
it's alcohol.
That's hardcore, man. Whoa.
Next level drinking.
I know.
thank you, tipsy bartender, for everything you taught me. But anyways, it's good to actually have you guys on the show. Like I said, Sam, thank you so much for reaching out to me on Twitter. I do appreciate you for doing that.
Oh man, you know what? We're happy to find people like you guys who enjoy the movie first of all, but then even want to take that further step and really support the film. Having us on today, we really appreciate that as well. So it's a simpatico. It's a mutual relationship.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. It's great to be able to talk with other indie filmmakers and stuff like that. Alex and I were privileged to be able to review this film for you guys. And, I'm going to let Alex go on ahead, ask the first question out of the gate and everything too, because I've been chatting with you guys for at least almost close to 30 minutes. So I want to be able to go on ahead and give the floor to him.
All right. Hey guys, once again, thank you for letting us watch your movie. That was a privilege and just a fun time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was not expecting to laugh that hard as I did. Me and my wife sat down and watched it. We were just having the best time with it. So thank you for that. This question, let's start with you, Sam, and Troy. You can answer it too. Like, what got you guys into filmmaking? When did you decide, like, let's try to make some movies?
Oh man, that's going to take the whole show, I think. You know what, man? I to keep it as brief as possible, I've been a filmmaker for like 17 years now, 18 years, something like that. I mean, Troy and I went to school together. We both graduated in 2004, and so I mean that alone was quite a long time ago. I took a screenwriting class before that really just got me interested in the process of filmmaking and writing in particular. And that was kind of like my entree into filmmaking. And then went to film school where I met Troy. And, the rest is just kind of history after that, just keeping that passion alive and just chasing projects, whatever we can do to make good projects happen. That's what we try to do. So
nice. All right, that's awesome. And then
how about you, Troy?
Yeah, Troy.
We actually, I remember meeting Sam in college. We made a short film together called Once the Fiddler Paid. It's on YouTube, and it's a rock opera.
My first IMDb credit.
Hey.
Yeah,
when I knew I
awesome.
made it, I was on Troy's film. Yeah,
cool. we were just baby students, little baby movie makers at that point. Yeah, dude, Sam was always super encouraging and like very positive, and it was a great experience back then. And then we never, he moved to LA after that, not long after graduating. So our paths kind of diverged for a little. I went into the film industry in Wilmington as a grip and a dolly grip, but always doing indie projects on the side. So I started off writing. And same for Sam. I think I think at our core we're just writers, and so that led me to want to direct, and then got into the camera and stuff like that. But so with the camera stuff came the desire to know like more technically and lighting and grip work and stuff. And I really like camera movement, so dolly gripping became a thing for me for a long time. And the film industry is all consuming. When you're in it, there's pretty much nothing else you can do. So in between projects, I'd fit in these little short films or anything we could, or a feature film. My first feature was called Half Empty, and I shot that all with grip money. I was working on Eastbound and Down, and those guys were totally inspiring for that. And we, where independent films on the local level that we shot in Wilmington, nobody was letting it rip the way that we were with the language. They're like, why you guys like just you're cussing like too much, like well, it's no more than anybody else in the mainstream. I think we're doing just a normal thing. But yeah, Half Empty, so very it's great little indie, no budget, very foul mouthed. It's got Nate in it from Birdies. He played Nick. He's super funny. Great little cast. Anyhow, So around 2014, I got out of the film industry. I moved to LA to try to just separate myself from, because strangely, I came here to not be in the film industry and to do my own independent thing. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm making music videos and commercials, and Birdies, and planning some more stuff in the future. So we can't wait. We got a lot more planned. Yeah.
Oh heck yeah! I can't wait for that.
Definitely do. Yeah.
It's definitely interesting how life just throws you a certain lemon at some time, where you don't expect it to go you expect it to go one way, and then it winds up landing you somewhere else. You wind up, hey, it's not working out over here, I'm going to move over here, kind of thing. But I like how you guys still have a good friendship to where you guys can work together and stuff like that. And that's something that it actually shows on screen, where behind the scenes, it seems like everybody was family, everybody got along just fine. Also, too, mine and Alex's favorite scene is probably the part where basically Nick lives on the campus and everything, on the golf course. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go home now. Okay, drive safe. Are you sure it's a good idea for you to drink? Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It reminded me of Adam Sandler from Big Daddy or Happy Gilmore, for instance, because that's what this movie feels like. It feels like it has a little bit of blend of Happy Gilmore, and also too has that Bill Murray movie that was taking place on the golf course as well. But
Caddyshack.
Still, yes, Caddyshack. But I loved it. I love what you guys did with it.
He's got Caddyshack over his shoulder. Yeah, Troy's got the poster back there.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
Yep, I see it. I see it now. But, my question is this. When it comes down to writing, when it comes down to being on that kind of level of trying to write something for Birdies, how long did that take you guys to write? What was the writing process with it?
Okay, yeah, it was long. So the Birdies, there was a pilot that we shot back in 2009, right after we did that movie Half Empty. We did a small scene on a golf course where some of the producers of that movie met with Brandon. Brandon got us the golf course. Brandon Luck, that is, who's one of the producers, not here. And they started talking to the pro there, Arthur Scott, and they had this idea for a golf TV show, kind of akin to Eastbound and Down at the time. So we were all about it, after having just made that. And Nate wrote the pilot with a buddy, Ryan Small, and that they built the world, and Nate's voice is very clear throughout the pilot and obviously in the feature. But we shot that pilot. There were a couple actors in that there was like something that happened with SAG, and I can't exactly remember what happened, but we weren't a union project. We got misclassified, and it just kind of didn't work out. So we made little golf jokes for YouTube. We took golf jokes and made them into videos and put them on YouTube, and they went viral. So with these little 1-minute videos, we just scripted them out, and then we'd have a little improv. And before we knew it, some of them were getting a lot of views, and now there's like 7 million. But that was 10 years ago, so we milked it for all it was worth, I think. Always knowing that it was a means to an end to try to get Birdies out there more. So that's at youtube.com/tight lives. So that's where all the golf jokes are on Tight Lives, or tightlivestv.com. So
what's your most favorite one, though, when it comes down to the golf jokes?
there's one called the Women's Tee, which was like the first one that we shot, and that's the one that really took off. But it's the most simple. That's everybody's favorite. I think my personal favorite, there's one where the original Shansky and McKell, they're two different actors, but their names actually Shane and Michael, Shane Callahan and Michael Kuhn. And they just wrote their names funny on the scorecard, and that's how those characters got created. It's called The Liar and Cheater, and they're just buddies that start off like playing around a golf, and one guy drops his ball secretly out of his pocket, and they just end up getting a fight right there in the grass. It's ridiculous. Actually, it's one of the only ones I didn't direct because I did most of them, and then we had some friends come in and just do the random little ones. And so my buddy Marcus did this one, who was the co-director on Half Empty with me. We wrote that and directed it together. But he did this little golf joke, and I just always thought it was the funniest. And that's where Shansky and McKell came from, just these ridiculous characters that are always like at each other and fighting, and one's like super gay but like all fine with it, like, hey man, we're cool, bro, like, hey, you ever had sex with a guy? Yeah. So and that's why it took some time to really work on those jokes in particular with those two characters, just to make sure we weren't like crossing any boundaries.
Well, we knew we were crossing boundaries, but making sure that,
not too many boundaries.
Well, not being overly offensive, or like hopefully letting that pendulum swing back a little bit and like showing some redemption, or just showing, keep developing that,
offend everybody. Make sure we check all the boxes.
Right.
Equal opportunity offender.
We made sure to do that. Right. So then, to go back to the writing process, I moved out to LA. I had to get a job out here and stuff at a theme park design company where I was doing their videography. They didn't give a damn what I did. Like, we had meetings about meetings, and I'd sit there and I was like, for a while, I tried to do busy work. Like, I'm here editing, having ideas. We could try this. We could do this. And they're like, slow down, man. Like, we're not even there yet. We have a meeting about this meeting before we do that project. I'm like, all right. I just started sitting there and writing Birdies, and kind of with Nate's voice ringing in my head still 7 or 8 years later, I started writing the first draft, and I took my time with it. I started to learn golf and play it more and enjoy it, so I knew what I was even talking about, and played some golf with some friends in Vegas, and we did a little scramble format. So that's where the tournament idea comes from. I did a documentary in Peru, which is where the whole cactus thing is like, that's real. That some of that really happened to me. Just taking my time with it, letting some natural ideas flow organically, and like, this would be funny to add. So we did a read through like a year or two before we shot it, and it went great. Everybody loved it. Nate was there, Sydney, who plays Sarah, Airly, Jamie played Jake. The guy who plays Adrian, he played Jake for that read through, and we had the best time with it. And we were getting ready to shoot in spring of 2020. Or no, we were getting ready to shoot in fall of 2020, but I was like, I'm going back to North Carolina, and we're going to start planning it in March or April and just really get all set to go. Yeah, of course, everything fell apart. And we weren't able to pick it back up, but finally.
Oh, you were.
Once we saw our little window, I remember we weren't talking much between the producers and Sam. I don't think. Oh, no, this is right when Sam came on, and when we were all kind of quarantined, and he had emailed me, "Hey, what are you up to? This is what I'm doing. We're trying to get this together." And he had some suggestions. He was like, "Hey," he was super interested, and Reed was the one who texted me at one point. Reed, who plays Gary, he's the sunglasses and the hair guy. He was like, man, I feel like we're like losing steam a little bit. Damn, I think you're right. So at that point, we always kind of have been keeping each other positive, encouraging one another. So it's all a team effort. And, so we got the engine back started up. Like, okay, I think we can do this. And hey, we don't have shit for money, but we'll figure it out. All we have to do is get a golf course and bring the people there. And once we have that, we're good. So the key to it was the golf course. That's where another producer, Liz, comes in, and she knows a guy, Brandon Noel, who was part owner of Ironclad Brewery, who just bought this totally rundown golf course that was called Belvedere. And the brewery was in the process of fixing it up right when we hit up Brandon Noel, and he got us in there. And yeah, he talked to the owner. He was part owner at the time, and then they parted ways on that on good terms. But obviously got us in. We shot here. It was perfect timing, right before the Delta variant hit. We're all like, vaccinated, starting to unmask and everything. So it was like the perfect window.
Well, it's interesting how all that timing played out too, because I remember like when it was all coming together, like it was suggested like we just need a golf course, and then like a month or two later, it was like, okay, we got a golf course, but we can only shoot in May. And it was like May was like 2.5 months away, maybe like just 2 months away, and it was like, okay, it's going to be tight, but we can do this. Because like I think like come June they had plans to like start another phase of the remodel and everything. And so we knew we had to take over the clubhouse and like this kind of rundown club, but it worked out perfectly.
Hollywood magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We've had a lot of luck with this,
the clubhouse is still in the same order it was when we got there. So we had to literally like put our own wood paneling up on the wall because the insulation was showing everywhere. I mean, it was empty. I had to sweep the damn place up because it was just all construction dust. Some contractor had come in there and just gave up. Like they ripped the place apart and then they left. And that was it. And that's when I came in, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, we only had so much paneling, so whenever we had to like reverse the camera around, we'd have to peel off paneling on one side and like do the set construction on the other side of the wall just to be able to like do the reverse shot.
Yeah, like on a moment's notice too. Like
we'd have to think about like, okay, like where are we placing certain we'd repurpose plants, like the same plants and shipped it. I mean, we were recycling that minimal amount of set dressing we had constantly. So
it also explains why we didn't see the character fix up the place that much or anything like that either. So it's like a little bit of redemption is because of that. So but I think it's funny though.
We did what we could. As Timmy or Indieho throwing sand in the sand trap was about all you get there. There was more planned for that. Like they were going to dig a whole lake. Like the cactus farm was supposed to be like a dried up lake, and they were going to refill it or something. And there were all kinds of plans for that. But hey,
still waiting on some of those.
Birdies Part 2. Here we go.
We get a lake.
To the next one.
Wait, so you guys, you said you had to film in May. So like all your filming was just had to be like in the month of May, like just get it all done as quick as fast as possible. Like
there were a couple reshoots a few months later, but I mean, we shot in 4 months, the 4 months of May. I mean, the 4 weeks of May. Yeah. 4 months of May.
It must have felt like 4 months at some time.
It did. Oh,
some days, some days no.
We were not looking good, but we were peeled by the end of it. Just totally drugged through the dirt, and
there are 5 producers on this, and you've heard a few of their names. Let's call them out. Let's give them some recognitions. So Brandon Luck is one of the ones who's been on from the very beginning with Troy, actually. He's one who actually the idea of a golf comedy was pitched to by Dave Longo, who has become a huge supporter of the film and the process actually. And so so Brandon is a producer. Jamie, who plays Adrian, is a producer. Troy is obviously a producer, and then Reed Doyle, who plays Gary, is also a producer. And we basically did everything, the five of us, for this. You know, we were all of the crew. We were most of the cast, you know, except for me and Troy. I didn't want to be in it at all. Troy was actually supposed to have a cameo, and I ended up somehow taking his cameo. It was literally the last thing we shot in that, you know, in the first block of filming.
I had to hold the camera.
I know, and Troy was like, I've come this far. Yeah. And you know what? That shot looks great, man. Nobody else would have gotten that smooth moving shot that you got, you know, as we roll that wheelchair out. So, you know, props to you, man.
Nobody else in the world, man.
Not on that set. Not on that set. I mean, when I'm running sound, it's a new low. So, but so when he says we were run pretty ragged by that fourth week. I mean, we really were. The wheels were slowly coming, maybe a little, not even slowly at that point in time.
Yeah, they were rattling off. Yeah, by the time we wrapped, we were like, what else do we do? We got to shoot the golf ball landing on the green. What a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like, it's the golf ball bouncing on the ground, but we didn't want to go drive out to the fairway or any fairway to do it. We're just like, God dang it.
It became a lot. It became a lot, yeah.
It was, yeah, we were falling apart because it was all budget. Every morning, I remember, you know, I was coming from Topsail Beach. I'd be like, hey, the scene we're doing, oh my God, we need a flask. We need something else, a joint. And, you know, are we doing real weed? Like, well, how's
method acting, might as well.
Right. We're coming up with set dressing, like on the fly, like in props and stuff that morning or the night before. Like, basically, somebody would just look ahead, just a glimpse, like, oh, what do we need for tomorrow? Oh, okay. You know, the wardrobes were done, so that wasn't a big deal, you know, costume and everything. But yeah,
they were basically there because it was just this, and that was the easy part.
A lot of props.
There are there's some continuity breaks and some mistakes with pants. You know, as easy as we had it, sometimes people are wearing the wrong pants. If you ever notice, but hey,
I didn't notice.
I didn't notice.
Good, yeah. Hey,
that's what we decided. Forget I said the pants.
But then again, you're telling a story about a rundown golf course, so it kind of makes sense. Everything's like mismatched anyway. So
right,
it goes.
It makes sense because it's Nate, or it was Nate's character Nick, who he has some turquoise pants on in the beginning of the day. Then he switches to turquoise shorts.
Yeah.
And then I think he ends up back in the pants again.
I think you ended up cutting that, actually. I think you ended up cutting it so it just goes pants to shorts. But
right.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I have to check it back out.
It's a super long day, and it ends when he's at the trailer, like on campus. He's like, hey, yeah, I live here.
That's their favorite scene, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's my favorite too. Did you guys see the behind the scenes, any of the deleted scenes yet?
I did not.
I didn't.
I'm going to send you some of that because that's a scene that came together just kind of off the cuff. The original scene was that he was going to just drive up to the camper, and that's the cut, you know. But once we landed there, you got these two guys, you know, we're like, hey, let's fuck around a little. Like, hey, grab a beer. Let's go step out and say hey, you know, like now you're home chilling. Like you were working, now you're home chilling. And it was so funny because they kind of just rattled that off just off the cuff, and you know, a little curation. We did a little play around with it, but when you hear some of the audio, like Zach was off camera, he's talking to somebody because he's always talking. The guy who plays Conroy, and but you can hear him on his mic. He's like, "Hey, shut! They're doing something. We want to hear what they're doing." And because we were just, you know, it's one of those things where it turns into something so funny. And that's how good those guys are. Like Nate made up that line. Yeah, I got my license.
That killed me. Like I took the test.
You did the draft? Yeah, I took the license. I got my license.
Yeah. I mean, how has that joke never been told before? I don't know. It's like it's been sitting there for us for all these years. And he's the one who can just pull it right out. It's the low hanging fruit. that nobody
I
else
love that
gets.
though.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
line
yeah.
made him my favorite character. I was like, that's the best line I've ever heard in a movie.
Yeah.
Same.
It's good.
Yeah, that's the brilliance of Nate right there, man. Right there on the spot.
Yeah.
So writing his lines were super fun because you can hear them. You can hear Nate saying them.
Watching him bring him to
nobody-
life was super fun too.
Yeah,
There were,
and then
that was the
bet.
fun
you
thing
can't
about
make
being
that
on
shit up.
set. Being on set, you know, it was such a tight knit little group, as you guys kind of mentioned. It definitely was. You know, we're all kind of in there together doing the thing, but it was so funny that when somebody did something like that was so authentic. I mean, we all knew, like, we knew what we captured in the moment, and we're just like, hopefully when we string this all together, it's going to play, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we were, because we knew we had some funny bits, you know, the turning of the, you got an office? Oh yeah, man. It's like, oh, you said I had an office. You know, like that whole bit was, again, kind of like a little bit of an improv thing. But when they mapped that, I mean, I remember that when that was pitched before we even shot it, it was like, oh, we have to do that. It is so funny.
Jamie acted it out for me because me and him were the ones kind of talking about it just while we were having a beer at Brandon's house one night in prep. And Jamie did the whole action. He's like, come on, man. And the way he did it, I got a cell phone video of it. I was like, do it again. I got to get the tape. I want to show it to the guys. And then when we got to the location, I had Reed do it again because I loved it so much. I was like, come on, Reed, do this little. You know,
and have him trip up in the arm bit. I mean, that was the thing. You're like, yeah, it's
classic.
Great. Yeah,
good stuff, man. Oh man.
The other funny part that I liked too was like when Nate was over there trying to get the owner to drink after he just got out of surgery.
Yeah,
and everything.
Full story, bro.
Yeah.
It's good, bro. Here, have another.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Goes, can you have weed?
This is a
I don't
bad
know.
influence, man. Just say, like this sociopath. Like, what's wrong with this guy? He's completely selfish. What a selfish individual, but lovable at the same time.
Yep.
As they all are, I think.
People are pissed that he like was in a relationship with Fred. I thought it was like natural. It was like, these obviously they bicker and a little back and forth, and
they definitely had the romantic chemistry. Just how they're messing around. They had great chemistry, I thought.
Interestingly, that is like the one bit of feedback I feel like we keep getting that's like, oh, that surprised me. I didn't like when they kissed.
I
was just like, oh.
People don't know how to take it though, because they're like, wait, was I happy about that or not? I don't know.
Yeah, people feel weird about it. They're like, I don't know about them in a relationship. Like clearly, you know, like they've had this thing going on. Like, that's where I cut you off. You know? They do this all the time. Come on. It was supposed to be a little plot twist, but not in the way that like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this relationship. Okay.
But another thing though too that I thought that was interesting was you guys didn't go for the same kind of ending like you normally would do, is like the over-controlling, overbearing girlfriend or wife, rather.
Oh, where he just dumps her?
Yeah, he just dumps her and goes with the chick that loves golf, because that's what I thought it was going to be. That would be the generic way of doing things, but no, instead you allow the characters to be who they are and let them rest in their conflict and let her oversee his passion to the point where it's like, okay, this is what he loves, but I'm going to go on ahead and put aside my differences for him. Versus
got a redeeming moment. Yeah. Another thing that some people are kind of unsure of. They're like, I don't know how I feel about her. It was like, well, she has her moment. You know, when Jake's knocking on the door and she's like conflicted because, you know, I'm a bitch, but you know, he's a really nice guy. He didn't mean to, but I'm still a bitch. And, you know, eventually she comes around. So I thought it was good. Like, she's finally starting to understand, like, hey, let the man be. Let him be who he is. He's not an exterminator, and he's not an Adrian. It's just like, hey, I'm Jake Baxter.
Right.
You know what? I actually love how we developed those scenes with that relationship in the way, like when he's talking with the guys, it's kind of made light of this like crazy night. But a little bit later, like right before the crazy scene with them, but we actually get to see a little bit deeper moment where she's like, I did all the drugs. I was with the hookers. No, I didn't make you do that.
Right.
And it that's a moment that I really like in her character because you do empathize with her rather than just seeing her as the bitch. It's like, oh, I get this like feeling that you have now. And that's, I think, why the redemption works so well, because at that point in time, we've connected with her. And if you just shuck her off, it's like it doesn't service the story in another way,
Exactly.
So I think that was a really smart writing move. Troy and I haven't even talked about that, but, it played very well. And Airly was an amazing actress. So, she definitely sold all of that, the bitchiness and everything else. So.
And I think
definitely.
we would have had our work cut out for us, and I think Caroline would agree if we had to develop her character more, because she's a golfer first and foremost and has never acted before.
Oh wow!
Yeah, first timer.
Yeah, so she came, basically right off the golf course, and she was on the UNCW golf team, and had just recently graduated. Cool as hell. She just fit right in. Everybody was just hanging out. One of the crew, just one of the guys, essentially, as soon as she stepped in, was just making jokes, cracking them.
She hit the ball better than every one of us. So it was like she could. Those shots of hers are for real. I mean, that plays on screen too. It's like, wow, that girl can hit. So
knocking it out.
She could back it up. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then, what would you say? I know you talked briefly about like what your favorite scenes are in the film, but like what scenes are you most proud of? Like they just came when you rewatched it after editing, you were just like, yes, that's beautiful. Like, what would you say that is for you, both of you?
Oh, you go ahead first.
Oh man, I really wanted to hear yours first. Wow.
Really?
No, okay. I have to say, I'll say this for a couple different reasons. Number one, I think I knew going into the shoot day, we had a lot on our plate. And, everything was so run and gun, right? We had to put a lot of faith in Troy, and we all had it. So that wasn't an issue. But it was like, I like how he winced right then. What
happened with that? Yeah.
Look, well, we've all worked with you in some capacity before. We all read your script. We loved it. We knew what the team was capable of doing, especially by this day, honestly. But there was one day in particular where there were a lot of moving parts. And it was like, I was trying to figure out so I was also first AD on this film. So I scheduled it for everybody, had to figure out everybody's schedules and make sure it all worked, as well as trying to just shooting it as in sequence as possible so that the actors had, the emotional beats that they had already played to build off of, even comedically, so they could find threads and whatever that entailed. So the scene with the snake bite and the psychedelic trip and golf tour, that's a really complex scene if you really think about all of the moving parts that are happening in that. And we got all of that in one day. And I just remember going in, like nothing was storyboarded, nothing was really talked about amongst crew, like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. We pretty much just showed up on set. We knew where we were going to shoot it. We knew certain bits of it. We had shot part of the psychedelic stuff, like where he's in the tent and everything earlier, but
did we though? I think that we shot that before this.
There's no way that was the same.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
That tent stuff like for so long.
That's right.
We had shot like the stuff in the tent and like him walking out some, but we didn't shoot where he comes out and actually intermingles, as I recall. I don't know. I'd have to look back at it. I don't know. Maybe we did. Maybe we did. I don't know. Even more so. So
you're right. There's no way we could have pulled that off.
I can't remember.
It messed that up easily.
Yeah. But long story short, I know even when I saw the rough cut, I was like, that all played so well. Like just the way, all these different characters come together, really a lot of them for the first time. The way we get a sense of every character and exactly who they are, the little, I don't know, everybody's kind of like at this certain tipping point. Jake with his realizations of what's going on with his own relationship, kind of that's when we get the pansexual bit from Shansky and McKell's, and that's when Inyeho finally drops his cover for the first time. Like, there's lots of little nuance and lots of little beats in that. If you really deconstruct it, it's like, wow, there's a lot happening in all of this. Yeah. And that's when I watched it through. I was like, I don't know how any of us accomplished that. Like, honestly, not that I didn't have faith on the day, but it was like going in, I wasn't sure. And as we shot bit by bit, it was like, okay, it's coming together. But when I really watched it play, I was like, this is like a massive sequence in the film, and it all works. And even in the rough cut, it worked. I would be interested to know how much you really even edited that down from some of the earlier.
A good bit, actually, because there was a lot of fat in that one.
I'm sure there was,
because those guys, as he was sucking his butt and everything.
I know you cut that a lot. Yeah, you definitely did cut that a lot.
Good stuff there.
Gary was on fire then, though. The stuff he was saying was so funny, and I'll never forget this. You better
everybody was cracking up. That's why deleted scenes are great for that one too, because somebody was like behind me with a cell phone, and like you can see everybody off camera, because everybody that was in that scene was waiting to get on while we were shooting the one little snake bit. And that's how I knew to use some lines, because I was going off what they were laughing at in the off camera. Like whenever he was like, "Oh, that's what's up," everybody died. Like, okay, if they're laughing right there, I should probably include it.
And we often broke. I mean, like, there was no way we weren't. We broke so many times during. I don't know how our sound worked at all, honestly.
I remember having to say it a couple times, like, "Hello, hey, guys, like, right here." Hey, we hear you. That we planned that out, though. Remember, we went there the day before.
We did,
We're like methodically, we had to be like thinking, okay, so.
We walked through it the day before. It got to walk through.
Come from here. They come from here. This happens here. But if we hadn't done that, it would have been a disaster. And that's actually what that set a precedent for some of the other big scenes, like the tournament, where we were really.
That would be my follow-up. What I was going to say,
very nervous for the tournament. When we went into that, we're like, "What are we going to do? Where are we going to shoot this? Where are we going to shoot this?" Well, it's like, hey, maybe we should just go scout it like we did the other one. And as we did it, of course, we started to calm down. Okay, we're doing this scene here. We're doing this scene here. Actually, you know what? We should stay here for this scene because they go into the playoff. So we're just going to reshoot, we're going to do the very first intro scene to the tournament. And then since there's a playoff at this hole or this tee, we're going to shoot that bit too. So we just jump forward in the script. Very methodically, line by line. And so there was not much directing going on that day because it was me and Sam behind the camera.
It was a scramble. See, I'll tell you what, this was a work prep day for sure. We knew it was coming. Obviously, this whole time that we have this big tournament, we're shooting in 2 days. We have our entire cast plus extras. The one thing I never once considered, and I don't know how, was that every single one of the producers, aka crew, was actually on camera, except for me and Troy. And Troy was like, we're gonna bring in another camera guy to get some B-roll and or B-cam.
Be good.
Yeah, B-cam. And it's like, yeah, perfect. And we were talking about like support, basically AD type support, second AD type stuff to kind of like wrangle extras and all that. But honestly, nobody had experience doing that. And even I was so busy, following you and getting sound and micing people and everything. I wasn't really even ADing, like the extras and stuff. So the fact that we got through that is it is a little bit of a miracle, that we got all that footage, that we got it all shot, and then it got together the way it did,
Yeah. I think I have a couple favorite scenes, and I thought the best for me always throughout the writing and the shooting and the editing has always been the final tournament scene where Jake, gets his hole in one and everybody's flipping each other off. That's always been the most fun you know, to get to emotional wise, and the one of the best stories coming out of that is when we were shooting another big stressful scene. Everybody's there. This is the climax. This is the big scene. And Kent, who plays Pop, he was basically our like base camp guy. He was in the clubhouse. He was on walkie, like, what do you guys need? I'll bring it out to you. My dog was on set the whole time, Tango. So Tango would stay at the clubhouse, and Kent would take care of Tango while we were out and about on the golf course. And we were shooting this scene, and everybody's flipping each other off. I'm getting like close-ups, and this is the middle of the biggest scene of the movie. And Kent comes down from the clubhouse. He says, "Hey," his accent is 100% real, by the way. "Hey, where's Tango?" We're like, "Kent, well, I don't know. We don't know. Like, he's with you." And then he looks at all these extras, and he's like, "I told y'all to watch them." And these people all look at each other like, "What? You told us? Like, we're extras." Like, Kent, just go.
No,
like,
it got 20 times worse than what Troy's even saying.
He's not here.
He is paranoid. He has lost Tango, and he's yelling, "The Gators have got him!"
We're getting there. I'm like, Ted, obviously he's not here. Like, just go drive down the golf course. You'll find him. You go that way, you'll probably find him. You go that way, you'll probably find him. Bye. You know, like, get on with it. And, like, okay, turn here. Ready and action. And I'm like, oh my God! Kent is like a quarter mile away on the two holes away, screaming for Tango, and
or we'd see his golf cart driving up the path, and we'd like in the distance be like, somebody call Kent and tell him he can't keep coming this way. Like, go the other way. He's not over here. We know that. Like, go the other way.
That's great.
That's it. It ended up that somebody else went back to the clubhouse just to check. And Tango was at the clubhouse the whole time. So here I am, like, dude, I was a nervous wreck for the whole 2 days that we were shooting these scenes. And then he's telling me, like Sam said, "I told y'all not to let him get close to the water." I told y'all not to let him get close to the water because the Gators. And I was like, oh my Lord.
I know, and so then he takes off, and we're like, "Troy, it's gonna be okay. Tango's fine." We're all like, "Troy,
I was like, Tango can take care of himself." Either he walked back to the clubhouse himself, or he just never left. He was there the whole time. We will never know.
We will never know.
Yeah. So that was one of like the funniest moments during like one of the biggest scenes. And then the last, like when we finished the movie, was just a great moment at the hospital, the quote unquote hospital, where Sam is the nurse. I was just like, wow, I said, we just did that. And I look at Brandon's nephew was there, and he's the taxi driver kid. And he noticed, he's like, "Yeah, you just did it, man." Like, his name's Austin. And Austin's a really cool guy.
Austin's living in your home now, man.
He's always kind of like followed us throughout the golf jokes and everything. And so it was a cool moment. And we were all there, you know, Brandon, Reed, Sam, Jamie. It was just a fun day.
We all felt a bit of relief and also just like elation and also a bit like, is it over? Does it have to be over? It was like summer camp had come to an end a little bit, and it was like a little bittersweet. Like, can we go shoot something else now? You know, like, what can we come up with real quick? So I just want to add something to that big climax scene with the. I find it interesting, like the Tango story, obviously I was there for, it's hilarious. But the people that weren't a part of the premiere in Wilmington, that scene got such an emotional response. Like, people jumped out of their seat and cheered. And it was like, it was an amazing, like, kind of cathartic moment, I think, for all of us. I remember Troy was up in the nosebleeds, basically, all by himself, watching it on high. And I looked up at him, and he just was like, you know, lording over the crowd basically, and he just had this huge grin on his face, and it was really cool to see that moment pay off with an audience in the way we always hoped it would, but it just like it was an explosive moment for the crowd. And just thinking back, like how it came together with Kent and just all the other stress, but also the excitement, and that again, like the way Ryan and Nate kind of milked that moment with the 2-iron, it was just like, it was funny and kind of heartfelt and kind of brought it all home again. You know, it was a great.
And a great way that it also comes full circle is because Kent is out there and he's like, yeah, my boy.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't in that scene, he still made his way into it, you know, and his presence is everlasting.
Well, that was honestly just a brilliant editorial. So let's give props to Troy real quick. So Troy wrote this thing. Troy camera operated this thing. Troy directed this thing. He was a producer on this thing. Troy edited this thing. He's basically our marketing guru. What else did you do on this thing, Troy? You've done so much more for it. I don't even know.
We're now distributors. Don't forget.
Yeah, you're also distributors. Yeah. Troy has led this ship literally from day one. You know, he's
that's awesome.
So much for this film, and you know, so much credit of its success, I think, just goes directly to him. You know, it was his vision, and I think that also just your good standing in the community of Wilmington, because so many actors, so many the other producers, everybody, they just came on and they were willing. I can't tell you how many times I heard other people just say, "Man, like anything Troy asks, man." You know, just anything. You know, the announcers, Marvin Gleeman was one of them. He told me at the premiere, man, dude, anything Troy asked, whatever, you know. So
oh, nice, yeah.
That's my next question. Was the announcers? How did you guys pick out the announcers and the podcasting? I think that was a great way to incorporate podcasting into the golf tournament.
Yeah,
that was really entertaining.
They were the easiest to cast of everybody. No, total lie. That was like the biggest pain in the butt scene that there was, because we like tried to find somebody. Everybody kept dropping out. Schedule didn't work. So we cycled through a few people before we landed. I knew, like Ed, I had given the script to early on just to see what he thought, and he just said he wasn't going to be able to give us that much time. So he played Marvin. So I was happy to have him just for the day, and it was perfect, man. He's a great announcer. And Brandon knows Ashley Kozakowski, who is the wife of Brian Park and plays the other announcer, John Ingersoll. I forget what name I gave him.
Ingersoll, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's the name.
Ingersoll, yeah. John Ingersoll.
But he's definitely Irish. I think we have to give him a different last name, maybe.
I think we still got to change it on IMDb because it's like still John Nichols or something, but it was too close to John Knightley that I was like, all right, I got to do something, but something creative. So it's like one of those Southern names that like Ingersoll. Anyhow, yeah. So Ashley Kozakowski's husband, and she was with WCT News, who came out and did a piece for us on set in Hampstead. So he became involved in that way and was awesome. You know, brought the accent and kind of like the normal guy vibe. You know.
Yeah, he was the straight guy in that comedy duo.
Yeah. And we can say it here. We can say it here because why not? But we reshot that scene. we reshot
that scene. Yeah.
And because we wanted to make it funnier,
but it didn't work.
It didn't work because the weather was totally different. It was September. It was like months later. It just didn't work out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we kept it the way it was. Anyhow.
Yeah.
That's that.
But I do appreciate you guys. You guys have done a great job on this film. I enjoyed it. Alex enjoyed it. We hope to be able to review more films from you guys because we both enjoyed this film so much. Once again, thank you so much for letting us review this film.
Yeah.
And thank you for taking the time out.
Yeah, glad you
Yeah,
guys
man.
enjoyed it, and it's good to hear other people geek out on it as much as we did, because we still do. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We geek out over this movie still. So it is fun to see that other people enjoy it as much as we do.
We are
There's a
the
little fun
dorks that
fact,
quote our own movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a little fun fact. In high school and everything, I decided to do a prank on the golf team. So what I did was, it was during my senior year of high school. So I'm like, you know what? I haven't been in any clubs lately. So what's out there? Okay, Clock Club. Never been to that one. Okay. I went on and photobombed that one. Then after that, I went over to the golf team.
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what? This much. Just let it happen. Doesn't happen naturally. And I took a picture with the golf team.
Nice.
So, like, goes, now, are you happy? Yes, I am. I'm going to go now and go back to class after I skipped just to take this picture with you guys. You guys should feel honored.
Nice. So you're on the golf team in your senior high school yearbook, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's hanging up somewhere at the
And
school.
the best thing about it is I'm in like a tie-dyed Hawaiian t-shirt. So it doesn't even look like it belongs.
Yeah. You just wore what you want, man. You were a
Right,
rebel on the
exactly.
golf team.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I was pretty much like the Adam Sandler of the golf team, where I basically was just decided to do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, I do appreciate your time. Where can everybody follow you guys at on your social media so they want to go ahead and follow you and all that stuff?
Birdies the Movie across the board. It's on Facebook, Birdies the Movie, Instagram, Birdies the Movie, YouTube.com/Birdies the Movie, TikTok, Birdies the Movie.
If you dare.
What's Twitter, Sam?
Probably Birdies the movie.
I don't know if we have Twitter yet.
No, we have Twitter. We got like 3 followers. I think we're looking at 2 of our 3 followers. I might be the 3rd.
Right. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Overall, we are our crew is Tight Lies. So the YouTube channel that has all those golf jokes is youtube.com/Tight Lies. The movie is at birdiesthemovie.com. It's also tightliestv.com. It's also on Vimeo on demand. So if you go watch, you go to Vimeo on demand. It's through Apple TV, Roku, anything like that. And then, of course, we're almost all set to get on some more mainstream platforms.
Awesome.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys definitely deserve it.
Just slowly rolling it out there for the masses.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like one of those old releases where it's like only in New York, only in LA. Right now, it's only on birdiesthemovie.com.
Exactly. We're platforming it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, scaling it, if you will.
Yeah.
And Alex, where can everybody follow? You're welcome anytime. You're very welcome.
Yeah. We'll bring another one to you guys.
I like how Alex knew the assignment and he wore his.
I was like,
Alex
knew they're gonna wear a blue tee. John, come on, John.
Yeah, we sell these. We sell these.
You sell? Okay, I'm gonna.
Guess what? I was actually looking at your store earlier today, and I just discovered that you guys have deleted scenes and stuff. So I am definitely gonna do some shopping after this.
We'll send you guys that. Hey,
yeah,
for you guys, we can send you a code. But honestly, all the special features are free on Vimeo. So if anybody goes to Vimeo on demand, all that bonus content's free. It's just that you got to register. And is that a pain in the ass? It's not really. It takes a couple minutes. It's that.
Just in the marketplace, right? We people don't always go to Vimeo, so we're like trying to incentivize if we can.
Yeah.
Vimeo's a good site.
Yeah, we make more money with Vimeo, plain and simple. So
let's put it all on the table. We can afford to give you more on Vimeo because we make more on Vimeo.
I actually had like one last question. You were talking about working on another project sometime soon. Any chance we can get a little hint on what that might be? What that's going to look like, or is it still?
I think we're still trying to kind of figure it out because we have Sam and I both have scripts on deck. We don't have the budget quite yet, but we're going to shoot more of these little golf jokes that we did. Maybe some like a fake Twin Pines commercial.
We got some fun things coming up for sure. And honestly, like I think it's gonna be surprising the amount because we got some follow-ups for this birdie stuff that we got in line that we're thinking about. And like Troy said, we've all kind of got our own little projects that we're moving forward. So I think there's going to be a lot.
Yeah, Birdies 2, double bogey. Watch out for that. I mean, that's someday. And then we're talking
That's
about
the goalpost. That's the goal.
Prequel series. Like, it's going to take it back to the 70s when Dan Conroy ran the joint and Charlie's just a little kid running around. And but we got all kinds of ideas floating around.
Ideas are percolating for sure. Yeah,
they are.
I'm here for it. Just let me know.
Yeah, we got to do Dick Baxter, The College Days. That's a mini series in and of itself, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And we do review pilot TV series though for indie as well. So just letting you know.
Cool.
Wink, wink.
Wink,
there we
go.
Just throw us that bone, and we'll review it for you. Promise.
All right. Everything's coming your way. Don't you worry.
For sure.
Sounds great.
All right,
awesome. All right. So, Alex, where can everybody follow you? Hey, Sam.
No, thank you guys for
man.
having us on the show, man. It really means a lot to us. I know you're trying to do your wrap up, so I just had to
that's cool.
Thank you in there, man. No, John and Alex, again, just thank you for watching the movie. Thank you for, we love that you guys love it. Thank you for reaching out to us to bring us on the show. It's been a real pleasure talking with you, and I'm glad we got to do this. And I hope, hope we get to encourage more people to check it out.
Y'all are like 90% of our audience. So, I mean, cheers to you.
Appreciate it.
And your followers.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. This was
Sam,
such a fun
thank
time.
you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll definitely keep in touch. You don't have to worry about it.
Appreciate that.
You'll know when more things are coming down the line. You don't have to worry at all. So,
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because seriously, it warms our heart to be able to know that we can do this for y'all. And also too, we love reviewing indie films and just indie films in general. So just you guys reaching out to us and, we're just a small little YouTube channel and stuff like that ourselves. And just for other people just to reach out to us, it matters to us. It shows that we're doing something right within our community. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Know how that feels.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And on that note, we're now getting reached out to by some golf courses and some theaters to do a little road show. So who knows? Maybe Birdies is coming to your town. We'll see. Might be coming to a golf course near you.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Guys, come to Biloxi, Mississippi. I'll be there, or somewhere around that area. I'll definitely be there.
Awesome. I know it because of the Matthew Broderick movie. So sounds great. Biloxi Blues.
Right.
All right, y'all.
All right,
great
Alex.
chatting.
Great chatting with you too.
Great job. Are you about to have me wrap up, John? Is this okay? Yeah. So you guys could also follow me. John's just like, come on, Alex. Come on, Alex.
We're there. You little nuts.
Come on.
Don't edit any of this.
I'm not.
You guys can follow me also on YouTube at A-Town Reviews, and then you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at ATownAlex3. There's exclusive pictures of me in a crop top that I will be selling soon. Get our OnlyFans page started. Going, make a little, I got to pay the bills around here. It's stressful, but looking forward to chatting up with you guys soon in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. We'll be in touch. Thank you, guys.
Definitely. You're welcome. And of course, you guys can go on ahead and find me at Movie Lovers After Dark for our OnlyFans page as well.
Wow.
And you can find me and my boxers with my stomach hanging down and with my keg stomach. That's always nice to see. I'm throwing an extra.
We'll send that to Jamie.
Okay.
We got to
love it.
Anyways, if you guys want to, go ahead and follow me underneath Movie Lovers, TV Lovers Tonight on Facebook, underneath the same brand name on Instagram, and on Pinterest as well. If you would like to get an audio-only podcast or episode and many episodes that we do here at Movie Lovers Tonight, you can get that wherever you guys get your major podcasts from. Of course, go over to Good Pods. Good Pods is basically your social networking for people that love listening to podcasts. Or if you're a podcaster yourself, go on ahead, rate individual episodes, tell us what you think about those episodes. Of course, go on ahead. If you want to donate to us, all you have to do, go to buyusacoffee.com/movie lovers. That's how you can donate $5 to $10 over here. But of course, I understand this pandemic probably put holes in other people's pockets, but just simply smashing that like button, smashing that comment button, smashing that bell on the bottom right hand corner to allow you guys to know when we have something new. Smash that shit up. Smash it up. Go on ahead. Tell us what you guys think about Movie Lovers Unite. Tell us below. Also, too, go on ahead. Follow me underneath TikTok at Movie Lovers Unit 0. Then, of course, Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter. And then, of course, if you want to reach out to us or you want to be a sponsor or whatever, just go ahead and reach out to me at movieloversunite@gmail.com. And that's everywhere that you can reach out to us. Thank you so much, guys. Once again, I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
For you guys.
And
everything you do.
That's right.
Smash it. Smash that shit. And until next time, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. And I can't wait to do this again. And
appreciate it. Cheers.